Oh, Jamar Chase with the dive. Because Garrett Wilson's wide open. Garrett Wilson, touchdown Bears. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video here in the World of Juice channel, and welcome back to another Madden rebuild here on Madden 24 on the PC. That is right, we are going back in the time machine once again, and we are going to be taking a look at the 2012-2013 Carolina Panthers. This obviously is significant because the 2012-2013 Carolina Panthers were not super good. They were building towards it because we know that the 2015 Carolina Panthers would go on to play in the Super Bowl against the Denver Broncos. Obviously, we know what happened, and that one not a good look for Mr. Cam Newton. And the Broncos would win that, giving Peyton Manning his second championship. And Cam Newton also win the MVP that year. But the reason this is significant is because this is Cam Newton's second year in the league. One of the commenters on a previous video of mine had said they wanted to see the 2011 Carolina Panthers because of rookie Cam. The closest I could get is the next year, the second year Cam. There's not a mod for 2011. There's just a mod for 2012. So this is as close as we can get to rookie Cam Newton, second year in the league, and we got to try to recreate that Carolina Panther team that went to the Super Bowl, and hopefully we can change history and win the Super Bowl that year. I guess it doesn't even have to be 2015 that we win the Super Bowl, just we have to obviously win a Super Bowl in this video to complete the rebuild. But there's a lot of stuff that needs to happen on this team. There's a lot of older guys on this team that are just probably not going to make it to 2015 or to when we win a championship eventually. And there's a lot of guys that are just pretty low overall that are going to have to get replaced. It's just how it's going to happen. We're going to need to completely overhaul this wide receiver core because it is not very good. We're going to have to look for a new running back. There's a lot of stuff that we need to take a look at, so let's get into it. Hit that like button if you go and enjoy. Subscribe to the channel. Join the Juice Club. If you have any suggestions for teams you want to see me take on in a future rebuild, let me know down below in the comments. I have the 2012 to 2013 mod. Any one of the 2012 years. Any team you want to see in that year. I have 2017. I have 2015. I have 1994, although 1994 is a little risky because there could be some crashing involved. I have college football. I obviously have current day that you could want to see rebuild. So any one of those eras or years you want to see, pick a team in that year, and we can definitely take a look and probably take a rebuild on. But other than that, let's get into the rebuild. Let's start to try to fix this Carolina Panther team and hopefully win them a championship. As previously mentioned, this wide receiver core and running back tandem is not super great. As you can see, we still have Steve Smith, but he's 33 years old, I'm pretty sure. Is he 33? Yeah, he's 33 years old. He's obviously a all-time Carolina Panther, one of the best to ever do it. But he's 33. He's getting up there in age, and we know how Madden doesn't like old players, especially guys that are in pretty deep into their 30s already. So Steve Smith is going to be an iffy one, but then there's nobody else on this receiving core. I mean, we've got Brandon LaFell, but Brandon LaFell is 25, 63 overall, normal development, never going to turn into anything. Just, I know that's harsh. He's never going to be anything. He turned into a good player in real life. That's not how Madden works. He's not going to be anything. So we have to completely overhaul this wide receiver core. Same deal with the running backs. D'Angelo Williams is getting up there in age. He's almost 30. Madden does not like running backs that are 30 or almost 30. We also have Jonathan Stewart, but Jonathan Stewart is 25, 74 overall. He could, I guess, if he has one good season, go up to star development, maybe become something. We might as well just skip the process and just get a guy that we know is going to be good. So running back and wide receiver core definitely need to be changed. But obviously this rebuild is built around this man right here, Mr. Superman himself, Cam Newton out of Auburn, former Heisman Trophy winner, NFL MVP, and we're looking to recreate that NFL MVP and add a championship alongside that. So we're not going to need to look at quarterback. That is one of the nice things about doing some of these rebuilds in the old school days is a lot of these these Madden rebuilds take a little bit longer when you're trying to figure out the quarterback spot, obviously. But when you actually have an established quarterback that's as good as Cam Newton is, I mean, he's an X factor at 88 overall. So that's going to boost the team up almost artificially before we're ready. And that's going to help the team in the long run grow because he's going to be playing well. And then once we add in a couple pieces, that'll get the morale boost going, that'll get the development going, and then we'll be right off the gates in 3 to 4 seasons. That's usually how you win a championship in 3 to 4 years. If you add a couple pieces on year 1 and 2, and you've already got an established quarterback, then you're off to the races right away. It's almost like getting a head start in a rebuild. So that is perfect. Cam Newton will be our guy for this rebuild. We don't have to look at quarterback at all. Offensive line, I like Jordan Gross, but Jordan Gross is 32. Offensive linemen tend to last a little bit longer, obviously, in Madden than skill position players, but we could possibly need to look for a new left tackle of the future. We need to probably look for an interior offensive line across the board because these guys are start development decent overalls, but Ryan Khalil, Mike Pollock, they're just probably not going to be the guys for us going forward. And then we've got Jeff Ota, excuse me, who's 26 years old. He could probably be our franchise right tackle. That's a good possibility. He could do that. Offensive line or tight end, we have Greg Olsen, but 27 years old, normal development is not a good start. We know that Greg Olsen is a Hall of Fame caliber tight end. He can definitely be that in this. We'll see what happens. And then on the defense, we've got a lot of work to do. We've got not a whole lot of redeeming qualities, except for this man right here, Luke Kuechly, who will be the franchise lifeblood of this linebacking core for this rebuild. So I'm super excited about that. We also have John Beeson, who I think is a little bit older at this point, yet 27 years old. I'm hoping that he's still on the team when we win a championship, but I guess we'll have to see depending on how long we go. And then we've got this man right here, Mr. Thomas Davis, 29 years old, veteran of the game, one of the most legendary Carolina Panthers of all time. I mean, I'm hoping that we can get it done and he can be part of it. I guess we'll have to wait and see. He definitely needs a development trait, though. We need to get him one. The defensive line needs a lot of work. We have really no one that I like. I mean, Greg Hardy is fine in theory, but he's a low overall. He's 24, normal development. Maybe he can get star development and then skyrocket from there, but we might not even give him the opportunity to, considering what he did off the field. But we might as well just move on from him right now. I don't even know. We've got Charles Godfrey at safety. How old is Charles Godfrey? 26. Okay, so that could be something for the future. We've got Captain Munnerlyn, but he's probably going to be playing corner. Is he young at this point? He's 24. Okay, so we have a couple young corner pieces. Obviously, you've been seeing the hidden development down here with Josh Norman. So a young rookie Josh Norman, I'm hoping has star development. He might have superstar. I don't know. I've never played with this Carolina Panther team, so I don't know what the development trait of either Kuechly or Norman is. But we definitely need new free safety. We might even need a strong safety depending on how he plays this season. But we need to completely do the entire defensive line, maybe the linebacking core, maybe just the let us linebacker in case Thomas Davis doesn't do anything. And then probably the corners as well, because Darius Butler is 26. Although there are some young guys on this cornerback room. The only guy that's not super young is Chris Gamble, who I love. Go Bucks. Chris Gamble, one of my favorite Buckeyes of the early 2000s. One of the first guys that I grew up like super loving on those early Ohio State teams. Love Chris Gamble. So he's the only guy on here that probably won't be here when the championship comes. But there's a good chance that a lot of these younger guys like Kuechly and Norman, obviously, and Godfrey and Butler and Munnerlyn and all these guys could be around when we win a championship. I'm hoping that. that I like to keep the team as close to the base team as possible when we end up winning a championship. So the 2013 draft class is the one we will start with. And you guys know that the 2013 draft class is not known for being a fantastic draft class. We'll have to see what happens. Obviously, thankfully, we don't need to look at quarterback. Running backs we do need to look at. Le'Veon Bell, we'll keep an eye on. Giovanni Bernard, Monty Ball, Eddie Lacy, Latavius Murray. I did see in a recent rebuild, I don't remember which rebuild it was, but there was a recent rebuild where it was like Eddie Lacy or Latavius Murray won Offensive Player of the Year and MVP like twice in a row or something. It was really crazy. I couldn't believe it. Theo Riddick I like as well. There's some running back options here. Obviously, we want to go for Le'Veon Bell because he's the top option. Tavon Austin is somebody that I've never drafted in one of these rebuilds, and I would love to get him. DeAndre Hopkins, Cordell Patterson, Bobby Trees, Keenan Allen. Let's see. Kenny Stills even at day 3 is not bad value. Anybody else? Denard Robinson, maybe. Another guy that, along with Braxton Miller, that I want to do a quarterback simulation with. Then for the tight ends, we could use a tight end to replace Greg Olsen, or just team up with Greg Olsen, I guess. So Tyler Eifert, Zach Ertz, Vance McDonald, obviously Travis Kelce, Jordan Reed. There's some guys I like in this tight end class. Left tackle, I'll put the 2 top ones on here, but Lane Johnson, Teron Armstead, we always go for those guys, and it might not be a bad idea to go for them again. Left guards, Trance Warmack, but there's going to be better offensive guards in future draft classes, so we'll keep that in mind. Center, there's really only one in Travis Frederick. Right guards, Kyle Long we'll put on the list. And then right tackle, we don't really need one, but I'll put David Bakhtiari on there just because he's David Bakhtiari. And then defensive line, we've seen Ziggy Ansah go #1 overall plenty of times before, so we'll have to see what happens there if he does it again. Then right ends, I'll put Deion Jordan on there, even though he's a complete bust. You never know what happens in Madden. But this defensive line class is just not very good this year. Star Lotulelei is who they get in real life. Sheldon Richardson, Sharif Floyd, Kawan Short, Big John Hankins. I like a lot of these D tackles. They could certainly help us out. I'll even put Quentin Dial on there because we've seen Quentin Dial be pretty decent. Left outside linebackers, Barkevius Mingo, Alec Ogletree. Anybody else? Not really. Middle linebacker, Manti Te'o, Kevin Minter, Kiko Alonso. These will just be backup guys because we have Kuechly. And then right outside, we got Collins, Bostic, probably Gerald Hodges maybe as a backup plan. That's probably going to be it. And then corners. We could add a few corners. So I'll put Desmond Trufant, Xavier Rhodes, Big Play Slay, Tyrann Mathieu, Jordan Poyer, David Amerson, definitely. Leon McFadden, Logan Ryan, B.W. Webb could be good value. Micah Hyde, turn him into a safety. Same thing with Poyer, too. Nickel Roby-Coleman, A.J. Bouye, classic guys that we always get. And then free safeties, Eric Reed, Kenny Vaccaro, Matt Elam, Jonathan Cyprin, DJ Swearinger, TJ McDonald, Daron Harmon. A lot of free safety options, which is good because we need them. That's one of the big positions that we need to change is free safety. And then strong safety, we could go with Charles Godfrey, or we stick with we draft Sean Williams, Shamako Thomas. Is there anybody? Kemal Ishmael, or Jeff Heath because he's a white. And kickers, doesn't really matter about kicker and punter in simulation. So that's my board for year #1. Our region breakdown, we have corner and quarterback. I'll keep that, and then we'll scout corner, I guess. That's fine. That's fine for year #1. Okay, so I'm going to simulate year #1, and I will catch you guys at the end of the season. End of year 1, somehow we made the playoffs. 8-8. I guess that's just the Cam Newton effect. We make the playoffs, we take on the Detroit Lions. I doubt we move forward, but I'll take it. Making the playoffs is always nice, especially in the first year when we're trying to get that morale boost. Cam Newton went 4,000 yards, 19 touchdowns, 5 picks. This is the kind of stuff that I was talking about in the beginning when I said it's always nice to have a franchise quarterback established because you get a little bit of a step ahead. And this is the kind of stuff I'm talking about. Even with little to no weapons, he still put up these kind of numbers. Rushing, D'Angelo Williams is on his last legs. 800 yards, 3 touchdowns. Steve Smith still producing as a veteran. 1,200 yards, 5 touchdowns. Favorite target for Cam Newton, obviously. Brandon LaFell had a decent year. Greg Olsen had a decent year. And then defensively, John Beeson had 157 tackles. I can't read numbers today. 149 for Thomas Davis. 117 for Luke Kuechly, which is awesome. I don't think he had enough of any other stat to win Defensive Rookie of the Year, but that's still a very, very good year. James Anderson had 91. Charles Johnson had 90. Godfrey had 84. Tackle for loss leader was Charles Johnson with 22. Edwards had 19. Kuechly had 14. Greg Hardy had 40 tackles, 9 tackles for loss, and 5 sacks. Edwards, this man dominated. He had 8.5 sacks as well. 8 sacks for Johnson, 5 for Greg Hardy, 2.5 for Anderson. Fua had 2 along with Beeson. Kuechly had 1.5. Davis had 1. And then the Piet leader was Godfrey, Gamble, and Norman, all with 2. Butler and Munnerlin had 1. So those are your stats. Those are your numbers for season number 1, and we will see if we can beat the Detroit Lions de trois in the first round. No, we don't. Okay, but that's okay. We weren't supposed to be there really in the first place because we have a good amount of money. We're not going to have that great of a draft pick, but I can always use the trade-up system to trade up and get picks. It's going to be Patriots and Lions, of all teams, in the Super Bowl. Come on, Pats. Do it to the Lions. Break their hearts. They did. 34-9. Oh, my God. Good job, Pats. That's what I'm talking about. Tom Brady for the win. He gets MVP of the league, of the Super Bowl. Matt Stafford got MVP of the league, so the Lions just dominated up until they ran into the buzzsaw that is the Patriots. You gotta love it. Belichick gets Coach of the Year. Calvin Johnson wins Offensive Player of the Year. Jason Pierre-Paul, Defensive Player of the Year. Doug Martin, the Muscle Hamster, gets the Offensive Rookie of the Year for the Bucks. And Dante Hightower, love him, wins Defensive Rookie of the Year for the Pats. So the Patriots get the Super Bowl, and everybody's happy. All right, let's go to the off season. Year number 1 off season is always the most important. This is where you set the tone for the rebuild. Got to have a good free agent class, got to have a good draft, and then we're off to the races. So, $148 million is a lot. I already re-signed a bunch of people. Actually, it wasn't that many. It was Jeff Ota, the right tackle, Mike Pollock, Jonathan Stewart, and then Captain Munnerlyn, I think, on defense with Darius Butler. There's a few guys on defense that were a little bit younger that needed new contracts, but everybody else here is absolute garbage, except for Jimmy Clausen, the ostrich, because I will bring him back simply because I think it's funny. So we will accept his option. He'll be the backup quarterback. You remember one of the time when they thought he was going to be the guy? That's funny. All right, so before I forget, let's spend some staff points here. Let's get the boys developed. So let's do this so we can have the discount, and then we go, oh, nope, let's go to this first, then we get the discount. There we go. And then let's start spending some points. Let's get everything upgraded. Bada bing, bada boom. What just happened? Something happened where wait, what? These mods can be a little tricky. Sometimes they can be a little glitchy. What just happened there? Why is it Matt Eberflus? Why is he staring me in the face? Hello? View the talent tree? Can I go to the player personnel tree now? I can't buy anything. Okay, let's simulate a week. Let's simulate a week and see if it'll fix it. I don't know what's going on there, but we don't need to resign anybody else because I did that during the simulation. So let's get to free agency, but first, let's see if I can do this now. I'll go through here. Can I buy anything? I can't buy anything. I don't know what's going on with this. I told you, sometimes these mods can be a little finicky. I got a few things bought, but probably not enough to make it easy. But I don't know what's going on. Maybe next season it'll work. Whatever. And I just saw that we're running Washington playbooks. I don't know if I like that or not. We'll have to see. Free agents. Left tackle Brandon Albert. That could be our replacement for... Oh, that's interesting. And LaRon Landry too. Oh man, we could get some things figured out here. I'm gonna spend some money. We're gonna go for LaRon Landry. We're gonna offer him a fat contract, not just a contract, a fat contract. And he's gonna come play in Carolina, hopefully. We're battling with the Eagles. I really hope we get him. I'm also gonna offer Brandon Albert because this could be our Jordan Gross replacement. He's a little bit younger than Jordan Gross, and he's a little bit higher overall. We can even move Jordan Gross inside until he retires. So we're going to offer those two guys. Who else are we going to offer? Vince Young. Running back, we'd rather draft one. Wide receivers, Chad Ochocinco makes it. You know what? I'll get Ochocinco for a season or two. Why not? It's Chad Ochocinco. I'll offer him a contract. There's Jeremy Shockey. I'd rather draft a tight end, though. We're going for Brandon Albert. Ramon Foster. Man, I could figure out our offensive line pretty quickly. 27 years old is not great, but he's Ramon Foster. He's pretty good. We could play him at center if we had to. Sebastian Vollmer is here, but we already have Ota, and we just extended him, so I'm not going to do that. Defensive line, Chris Long, probably not. No one on D-tackle spot. Nobody on the defensive end spot, probably. Outside linebacker, middle linebacker, and then right. DeAndre Levy is here, but I'll keep him there. And then corners. Rather draft a corner. And then we got LaRon Landry, so we will see if those are going to be accepted by our guys. And we got Ocho Cinco, so that's nice. Are we going to get everybody else? Brandon Albert? Yes, Brandon Albert's here. And so is Ramon Foster. So the offensive line is looking a lot better. But we will have to figure out... I think I'm going to move... Since we added Ramon Foster and Brandon Albert, I'm probably going to have to move Jordan Gross to guard. So here's what we'll do. We'll move Ramon Foster to right guard so that he'll play over Mike Pollock. And Pollock can just be a backup, or center, I guess. So we'll move Foster to right guard, and we'll move Jordan Gross to left guard. We will move Jordan Gross to left guard. He'll probably be the same overall. It's Madden, it doesn't really matter. So let's do that. And yeah, so he's basically the same overall. So now the offensive line looks really good. Now the offensive line's looking really, really good. That might have just been our fix right there. So we don't have to worry about the offensive line, really. And then we add in... Where is he at? Oh, he hasn't signed yet. I was going to say, where's LaRon Landry at? But he hasn't signed yet. Kuechly's an X factor. Josh Norman will get him to start over Darius Butler. I see a bunch of development trade upgrades, so that's nice. Thomas Davis got one. So we might as well just start him over Anderson anyway. That's always nice. Okay, so that's good. We'll simulate... Actually, let me sign a tight end real quick, just so we have an extra tight end as a backup. Let's go and get Tony Scheffler, I guess, because Tony Scheffler wants to be here, so let's lower this slightly. And we can't do any whatchamacallit, so we have to simulate. But we can just have a backup, because I think our backup right now is Mike Tolbert, which we don't want Mike Tolbert to be our backup tight end. It's not a good thing. But then the draft is going to be super important. It is going to be super, super important. All right, let's see if we got those guys. Sign free agents. My signings, they didn't sign yet. Ooh, we are in a battle for LaRon Landry. I might offer a little bit more. What was I offering LaRon Landry? I don't even remember. But I'm going to give him a fatter contract, even fatter than what I was originally offering him. That's how much I want him on in Carolina. This is probably going to hurt us in the long run, but I don't care about the long run. I'm here for the here and now. So we'll see if he accepts that contract. Did I get my... Wait, hold on. Did I get my things back? Okay, I have my evaluations here. He accepted our contract. There he is, LaRon Landry. Beautiful. The Ravens are really going after Tony Scheffler, so I guess we'll just have to offer another tight end. I thought we'd be able to get him because nobody would want him, but just give me Jake Ballard then, I guess. It doesn't really matter who the tight end is. I just need a backup tight end that's not our fullback Mike Tolbert. I don't want to go into this, although I need to check and see, is it now fixed? Can I spend staff points again? Or is it glitched forever? Because there's a good possibility it's glitched forever. And I can't purchase staff points, or I can't purchase things on the staff tree, so it might be glitched forever. Maybe I have to exit out of the thing and go back in. That's a possibility. So I'll give that a try after the draft. So let's keep simulating to the draft, and then we will figure out where to go afterwards. So we've got focus players that we can do. We probably need to do... let's do Le'Veon. Let's do Latavius Murray. And let's do Tavon Austin. Just so we know how good those guys are officially. And then we keep simulating. Mock draft number 5 is coming out. We're probably going to have pick... I don't know, maybe like pick 19, pick 18, I would guess. Mock draft number 5. Eric Fisher going number 1. Hopkins going top 4. Tavon's going 6. We sit at pick number... Did I pass this? I must have passed this. Where are we picking it? We pick at number nothing. We don't have a first round pick. Wait. You know the... I forgot to tell you, these mods don't have the right... They have the modern draft picks. So I'm guessing we don't have our first round pick because of Bryce Young. Yeah, we don't have our first round pick. Luckily, we have our first round pick for next year, but we don't have our second round pick. Okay, so I got to go and get our first round pick back because Bryce Young's in middle school right now. Elementary school. He doesn't exist. So we need to get our first round pick back. I forget who has it though. Who did they trade with? They traded with the Bears, right? So the Bears have our first round pick, which is funny enough the first team here. So I'm going to go and get our first round pick back and probably our second round pick back from the Chicago Bears. I'm just going to go and take over their team and then force the trade because it should have never happened at this point. And then we'll have our draft picks back. So I will see you guys when I got that done. All right, so I came back. I got the draft picks we needed. I got this year's first back from the Bears, and I also got next year's second. So now we should have all of our picks that we should have had instead of having the modern day draft pick where they are in real life. So it's fixed now. And I backed out and reloaded the game, so maybe that fixed the staff thing. I have no idea. Let's give it a try. I have no idea if that would have fixed it or not, and it doesn't seem like it has. So I think I must have glitched it somehow in this mod. I don't know what I did, but yeah, now it has Matt Eberflus there for some reason, and I can't go into it. It just says hire fire. So I must have glitched it somehow. I have no idea. So I guess the staff tree is out of the question, but we can at least still go into our private workouts and add a few more people to it. So we know Le'Veon Bell is a round 1 talent. We know Latavius Murray is a day 3 talent, and Tavon Austin's around 1 to 2. Let's go for a few guys deeper down the list. Let's go for... Oh, let's see. Who do we want to go for? Probably David Bakhtiari to figure out we know how good he's going to be. Let's go for Kawan Short. We'll go for Kiko Alonso, and then probably Tyrann Mathieu, maybe? Let's do Tyrann Mathieu. Those will be the 3 guys that we do for year number 1. And then we can get to the draft. We have pick number 19, which is the pick that I got from Chicago. So let's figure out what our game plan is. Are we going to need to trade up to get Le'Veon Bell? Because I feel like Le'Veon Bell is going to be the guy that we should go after. Maybe that's the wrong move. I don't know. Let's see where he's at. So the final mock draft has Ziggy Ansah. So it looks like DeAndre Hopkins fell down a little bit. That's a little weird. Whatever. Or maybe he was always there. I don't know. Tavon, big play Slay. Where's Le'Veon at? Le'Veon Bell is currently at 21, and we have pick 19. This is our pick right here, the Chicago Bears pick. So we can get Le'Veon Bell. We're in a good spot to get him. I think that's going to be our first round pick. We need to get a running back that's going to be dominant to pair alongside Cam Newton. And just think of that combo. That's a nasty combo. Le'Veon Bell and Cam Newton. That's a pretty disgusting combination. So number 1 overall pick is going to be Eric Fisher to the Jets. Ziggy Ansah goes 2 to the Jags. The 3rd pick is the Colts taking Sheldon Richardson. Then you got the Bears taking DeAndre Hopkins. Falcons take Desmond Trufant, funny enough. Tavon Austin goes 6 to the Cards. Darius Slay to the Chargers. Saints take Xavier Rhodes. Jamar Taylor goes to the Vikings. Dolphins take Barkevious Mingo. Texans get Datone Jones, excuse me. Then you got Dean Milliner going to the Raiders. The Raiders. Cordell Patterson to Buffalo. Tyler Eifert, Seattle. Eric Reed, Dallas. St. Louis gets Justin Hunter. Bengals take Deion Jordan. And Washington takes Manti Te'o. So now we can get Le'Veon Bell. And I feel like we're going to come away with one of the best players in the draft. Mainly because he's Le'Veon Bell. So let's get to the running back spot. And we're going to grab him. So Le'Veon Bell, we establish our backfield. We've got Cam Newton, and now we add Le'Veon Bell to the mix. That is quite the 1-2 punch, if I do say so myself. So that is our backfield pretty much figured out. Geno Smith goes to the Titans. Maybe that's their franchise guy. Travis Frederick to the Packers. Our offensive line, I think, is pretty much done at this point, now that we added all those guys in free agency. So Luke Jokel's still there. I guess that wouldn't be the worst thing in the world to take him, but, I mean, it's not like we need him. We do need a receiver, though, and Bobby Trees is here. Although Travis Kelce's also here. And so is Teron Armstead. There's not a whole lot of guys that I absolutely have to have. Maybe we go Jordan Poyer here? Is that the right move? Or maybe Big John Hankins? What's the move? What's the move? It's probably going to be John Hankins or Jordan Poyer. I think I'm going to go Poyer. We're going to go Jordan Poyer here. Add another decent corner to the team. And then hope that maybe Travis Kelce makes it around 3. I mean, he was around 3 to 4 projection, so I guess it's possible. I doubt it, though. I doubt that he's there, and he's not there. I didn't think he'd make it, but there was hope. There was hope. Okay, and John Hankins is also gone. So we can either take Luke Jokel, which would be funny, or maybe Kenny Stills. I think the smarter idea would have taken Kenny Stills. Get a nice receiver to pair alongside Le'Veon Bell and Steve Smith and all those guys. So now we go to round 4. If Luke Jokel keeps falling, I might take him. I'll give it one more round. If Luke Jokel's there in round 4 or round 5, I'll grab him. But if he's, I don't want to take him before that. So Gerald Hodges Jr., welcome to the squad. Hopefully you can help out the linebacking core. If he's here in round 5 at pick 20, then we'll grab him. I don't think he's going to be. He's not. Okay. So he finally gets taken. We will grab ourselves AJ Bouye. Maybe. No. Yeah. Grab AJ Bouye. AJ Bouye on the team. I know I always grab him, but he's just he's a solid player. He's a super solid player. What can I say? We have another 5th round pick, and we'll use this 5th round pick to take, I guess, Roby Coleman, maybe? I could take Menelik Watson, but I don't think he's going to have a development trait. That's the only problem. He's probably going to be normal. What's the tight end position looking like? Not a whole lot of stuff. Jack Doyle, but I think he's a super low overall. The other wide receivers, I mean, you got Josh Boyce, Denard Robinson, Adam Thielen. I'll take Adam Thielen. Might as well add another decent receiver that we know is going to be good at some point. So then to the 6th round, we have our final pick. And our final pick is going to be Roby Coleman, I guess. So, boom. Come away with all development traits. I'd say that's a pretty solid draft for year number 1. That is a pretty solid draft for year number 1. We will see what the overalls are. We know that Roby Coleman's overall is going to be pretty low. Even Adam Thielen's overall is going to be pretty low. Le'Veon Bell's a 75. Poyer's a 66. 67 for Stills. 60. Yeah, so all these guys are super low overall, but they're all development trait and all have a chance to turn out to be pretty decent. Hopkins is the best player in the class. Le'Veon Bell was right down there, but that's okay. I think we came away with a pretty solid class considering we made the playoffs in year number 1. And now I feel like, I mean, we got better because we had Le'Veon Bell. Having Le'Veon Bell on the team certainly makes us better. That's objectively true. Like, just having Le'Veon Bell on the team makes us better. So we will have Le'Veon Bell start. We brought in Ocho Cinco with the 2 young receivers. The offensive line's pretty much done. Tight end, we got Greg Olsen. And then on defense, we're going to have Thomas Davis start. Thomas Davis start. We're going to have somebody else play, I guess. We'll keep it how it is. Although Josh Norman will start over Darius Butler. But now LaRon Landry steps in. We just need to work on the defensive line. And I think this team's pretty much good to go after we fix the defensive line and maybe add another receiver. But this team is already looking pretty good. The defensive line needs a little bit of a fix, but, I mean, we made the playoffs in year number 1. Why can't we make the playoffs in year number 2? Year number 2 is wrapped up, and we actually went 12-5 this year. So I guess at the addition of Le'Veon Bell and fixing up that offensive line, and obviously like Luke Kuechly getting better and stuff, we turned it into a bunch of wins. I don't know what it is, but we are dominating this year. And Cam Newton had a really good year, 4,700 yards even. You know how hard it is to get 4,700 yards even? That's crazy. 24 touchdowns, 7 picks, and 72% completion percentage. What a good year from Cam Newton. If he had more touchdowns, he'd be MVP. That's how good of a season it was. And Le'Veon Bell is a rookie, 967 yards, 4 touchdowns. It also could be the playbooks that are helping us out. I didn't think about that. That also could be a thing. Ocho Cinco showing he's still got some gas in the tank. 1,100 yards, 6 touchdowns. 1,000 yards for Steve Smith with 4 touchdowns. Olsen had a pretty good year, 5 touchdowns. Thielen is a rookie, 800 yards, 2 touchdowns. All right. So Cam Newton spreading the ball to some of the veterans. Guys he trusts. Defensively, Kuechly takes over as the tackle leader on the team, 164. Godfrey had 107, 90 for Beeson, 86 for Norman, 83 for Johnson and Landry. Johnson had 21 tackles for loss. Edwards had 17. Beeson had 11, 9 for Anderson. And then Charles Johnson led the team. Charles Johnson must have been killing it. 8.5 sacks. That's insane. And then 7.5 for Edwards and Greg Hardy. Greg Hardy stepping up too. 4 sacks for Anderson, 2.5 for Beeson, 1.5 for Kuechly. Pick leader was Godfrey with 4, Butler 3, so did Gamble, 2 for Norman, 1 for Kuechly and Landry. So those are your stats for your number 2. And we will head to the playoffs to take on the Chicago Bears. The Bears. We beat them 27-23. Big victory over the Chicago Bears. And now we take on the Cowboys, who are the 3 seed. We are the 2 seed. And I guess we'll find out what's going to happen. Cowboys and Panthers for a trip to the NFC title game in year number 2. We win 20-17. We take on the Green Bay Packers, who I think are the 1 seed. I think they are the 1 seed. If we could win a championship in 2 seasons with this Carolina Panther team, that'd be pretty crazy. Absolutely crazy. But I mean, anything is possible. Patriots Jets in the AFC side of things. What a weird Super Bowl, or what a weird AFC title game that is. We'll see what happens. Panthers Packers for a trip to the Super Bowl. Are we gonna get it? Wow, we're in the Super Bowl in year number 2 to play against the New York Jets, who beat the Patriots, the defending Super Bowl champions, by 2. They upset them by 2. We beat the Packers by 3, but it's a 2 versus 5 in the Super Bowl. And this is just year number 2, ladies and gentlemen. If we win this championship, we'll go a 3rd season just to defend it. But I mean, I can't believe that we already have a chance to win it. That's pretty crazy. Let's not waste any more time. Let's go do it. Let's go win a championship. It is only the 2nd time as of now, obviously we haven't got to 2015 yet, that the Carolina Panthers have made a Super Bowl. Obviously the first time, 2004, lost to the Patriots. That's what I'm talking about. And we have a chance to redeem ourselves. 20-3, 27-3, 3rd quarter. Come on, Carolina, hold on. Big dubs, big dubs, big dubs. Jets are fighting back. I don't like the look of this. The Jets are fighting back. 49 seconds, 36 seconds, 26, 22, 10 seconds. Oh my God. I think they went for 2 and they missed. They did. Mark Sanchez did not convert the 2-point conversion. So the Carolina Panthers are going to hold on and win the Super Bowl in year number 2. This has got to be the earliest I've won one in a long time. I think I've won one in year number 1 a few times. I did that with like Cincinnati, I think in the current day rosters. But as far as one of these retro rebuilds, I don't think I've won a Super Bowl earlier than year 3. But this Carolina Panthers team, I guess the combination of the playbooks that we're running, I think, which is Washington's playbook, I'm pretty sure. And then the combination of that with Cam Newton being such a high overall and an X factor, I guess that just took over. Sometimes that's all you need in a Madden simulation is a good playbook and a good quarterback, and it takes you all the way, regardless of what other stuff you have around it. It's a luck of the draw, I guess, and we got lucky this time. It is absolutely completely 100% random in Madden simulations, I'll tell you that much. And we happened to get lucky on this attempt. We win a championship in year number 2. So now the rebuild's over. We complete that. I will go one more season. We'll go one more year. And we'll try to defend it if we can. Which, knowing Madden, we might not even make the playoffs. That's usually how it goes. Usually you have one weird year out of the blue where you win a championship or you get to the Super Bowl, and then the next season it's just like nothing. It's super weird, but that's how Madden does. Cam Newton wins MVP of the Super Bowl. Michael Vick, MVP of the league on the Eagles. Then you got Larry Fitzgerald, Offensive Player of the Year. Haloti Ngata, Defensive Player of the Year. DeAndre Hopkins, Offensive Rookie of the Year for the Bears. And Earl Wolf, Strong Safety for the Chargers, is your Defensive Rookie of the Year. Let's go one more year into the 2014 draft. See what we can do. See what kind of damage we can do. This is a good draft. A lot of good, talented players in this draft class. If we could come away with some good offensive pieces, we might be ready to go. As far as renegotiations go, I think I'm going to bring back Greg Hardy because he had a pretty good year this year. So I think I'll offer Greg Hardy a solid contract, and he's going to come back. We have $94 million. We can really go crazy in free agency if there's anybody available, since we don't have to worry about like long-term contracts. If we're only going to go one more year, we can spend literally everything we have and go crazy on contracts. So let's see who's available. It might not even lend itself to that, and it looks like it's not, because it's a lot of offensive linemen in this free agent class, which is not necessarily what we need. Matt Forte's here. The receiving options are just not really what we need. Tight end, I mean, we might as well stick with Greg Olsen. We won a championship with him. Offensive line, defensive line. Lamar Houston. X Factor. Hello. This is the kind of player I'm talking about. He's not super high overall, but he's got a great development trait, and we have a lot of money to burn. So we might as well offer him a contract, and we could use the pressure on the defensive line, that's for sure. So might as well offer him a contract, see what he says. Defensive tackle, BJ Raji. Absolutely. I know he's only 73 at 28 years old, so it's not a smart long-term financial decision, but for one season, can't hurt. Battling with the whatchamacallits, the Cowboys. Outside linebackers, middle linebackers, Sean Lee makes it to free agency, but I like Luke Kuechly better. And then corner, Peanut Tillman, DRC. Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie might help us out. That might help us out. That's not a bad shout. Not a bad shout at all. Oh, I don't think we're going to be getting him. Unless he picks us over Seattle, which I don't expect him to. Alright, so those are going to be my targets. Lamar Houston, DRC, and BJ Raji. BJ Raji signs with us. Awesome. Nobody else decided, and DRC did not sign with us. I didn't think he was going to pick us. I kind of figured he would take the higher deal with the Seahawks. But getting BJ Raji is nice. A little bit of depth on the defensive line at tackle. And then if we can get Lamar Houston and maybe draft a defensive lineman in this class, we could be ready to go to defend our championship, that's for sure. All right, let's go to the free agency. So we do sign Lamar Houston. He picked us, or he picked us. That's awesome. So now we add an X Factor 27-year-old pass rusher to the defensive line. I like the sound of that. Let's go and adjust the lineup here. Le'Veon Bell gets better. Thielen's now the starter. So it looks like Steve Smith and Ocho Cinco both retired, which is not the greatest. And Jordan Gross is retired, so now Pollock is there. So it looks like we could be in a little bit of trouble, but we still have a good enough offense to get it done. BJ Raji's now the new D-tackle number 1. Johnson and Lamar Houston. Godfrey goes up to star development. I noticed that. We might as well keep Anderson right there. And then we've got... the corners are looking good. A little bit low overall, but the corners are looking good. Now we just need to go and have a good draft. We need to go and have a pretty good draft, although I will sign another wide receiver because I didn't realize both those guys retired. So we will go and sign... not a whole lot of options, is there? We'll go and sign Eric Decker, I guess. He has a hot wife. So, or at least he did at one point. All right, so we sign Eric Decker. He comes in to be a third-string receiver at most. And we will get to the NFL draft. The 2014 NFL draft. Aaron Donald, Jadeveon Clowney, Odell Beckham Jr., all the boys. All the boys you guys are familiar with. It's just a matter of who we can get. So, Mike Evans, Odell. Are we going to be... We got to get one of these big-time receivers, don't we? We got to come away with, like, Odell or Mike Evans or Devonta Adams. I feel like that's got to be what we do. I don't know how we're going to be able to come away with those guys, but I feel like that's the smart move, right? That's the move, to come away with one of them. It's probably unlikely. But who knows? It could happen, I guess. Defensive lineman. We need to grab ourselves... We need to get somebody, that's for sure. We need to go for like DeMarcus Lawrence or Dominique Easley or D Ford. We need to learn about those guys so we can possibly draft them. And we need to take a look at this mock draft and find out where everybody's going. So Blake Bortles is going to go number 1 overall to the Buffalo Bills. Bad choice. Aaron Donald and Odell going to go 3 and 4. Mike Evans going 10. Jarvis Landry. I guess we could be in play for Davante Adams. They have us taking him with the final pick of the first round. I wouldn't actually be opposed to that. We might not even need to trade up and just stick with Davante Adams. That might not be the worst thing in the world. Jadeveon Clowney is going to go 5 to the Chiefs. Obviously, getting Odell would be amazing, but I don't know. Maybe we could trade up. I don't know if it's really worth it at that point. You might as well just stick and take Davante Adams, because he's going to be good regardless. And it's only one season, so it's not like it matters too much. I do want to see one last time if I can actually purchase this stuff now. Can I buy stuff? Oh, it's already got it bought. Everything's maxed out. I didn't do this, by the way. I didn't max this stuff out, so it might have just automatically maxed it out, I guess. I still can't like do anything in the tree. I don't. Whatever. This whole weird video has been weird. Let's just say that. Let's just stick at 32 and take Davante Adams. Might as well not upset the apple cart too much. Start drafting. Buffalo has the first pick. Are they going to take Blake Bortles? They took Jadeveon Clowney, who was projected to go 5 to the Chiefs. Khalil Mack goes 2. Odell goes 3. Blake Bortles ends up in Jacksonville. Jacksonville can't get away from it. They can't get away from it. Brandon Cooks goes to the Chiefs. Aaron Donald to the Saints. Kyle Fuller, Anthony Barr, Derek Carr to Miami. Mike Evans to Houston. D Ford, Minnesota. Bradley Roby, Paul Richardson. Let's simulate to our pick here. Pick 32. We should be able to grab ourselves Davante Adams. Who's on the board? Taylor Lewan. There's some good offensive linemen on the board. But our guy is Davante Adams. He's probably not going to be there round 2 when we take him in the final pick of the second round, so might as well get him in the first round. We know he's going to be amazing, and that helps our receiving. Oh, we don't actually have the final pick. We have the 21st pick. Okay. All right, so let's grab somebody else then. Who else should we grab? Who else should we grab? Man. It looks like Kyle Van Noy might be the best option. And I might have to put some people on the defensive line or maybe D-tackle. I'm not 100% sure. Pick 32. A lot of quarterbacks. Manziel's on the board. We've dealt with that before. What are the D-tackles looking like? Because we do need probably a better one than the backup that we have behind what's-his-face. So probably Daquan Jones. Daquan Jones probably isn't that bad of a pickup. 3rd round, hidden development. He's probably better than the backup that we have already behind BJ Raji. So that's a solid pickup. Then we go to the 4th round. Who's on the table for the 4th round? We got ourselves not a whole lot of options, but Malcolm Butler. We'll take Malcolm Butler, add another corner, and I'll just let the CPU handle the rest of it. We'll let the CPU handle the rest of the drafts. End of the draft. Bing, bang, bongo. Let's go defend our championship, basically, is what I'm thinking at this point. That's what I'm thinking. So draft recap, we got ourselves a 71 Davante Adams and a bunch of 60s and 50s. That's perfectly fine. Perfectly fine. Number 1 overall pick, Jadeveon Clowney is a 78, but the highest rated player in the class is Odell and Aaron Donald. No surprise there. I wanted both of them, but I knew I couldn't get them. I knew that I couldn't get them. That's okay. That is all right. We enter the 2014 regular season, the defending champions. Let's adjust the lineup, make sure everything's good. Davante Adams will be the #1 receiver, fine with that. Offensive line looking good. Did I say Alexa? I don't think so. Offense is looking good. And then on defense, Daquan Jones backing up B.J. Raji. Corners are a little iffy, but I mean, we won a championship with them last year. Why can't we win another one? All right, we'll see how it goes. We will see how it goes. I will see you guys at the end of season number 3, hopefully with a chance to defend our championship. We wrap the final season at 12-5, winners of the division for the 2nd straight year, and a chance at least to defend our championship here in year number 3. Let's take a look at the stats, how we got to this point. Cam Newton, once again, a pretty just phenomenal year. 4,100 yards, 28 touchdowns, 6 picks, 67% completion percentage. He's just been super efficient and getting the job done, getting us a bunch of wins. Le'Veon Bell, 791 yards, 8 touchdowns. Davante Adams in his rookie year, 1,000 yards, 8 touchdowns, 920 and 4 for Adam Thielen, 827 and 5 for Greg Olsen. And then defensively, 174 tackles for Kuechly, 102 for Godfrey, 97 for Anderson and Beeson, 91 for Houston. Wow. Lamar Houston, 16 tackles for loss, 14 for Johnson. Sack leader was Lamar Houston, so it was an amazing signing to bring Lamar Houston in. 11 sacks for him, leads the team. 9 for Johnson and Beeson, 6 for Anderson. Pick leader was Godfrey with 6, 4 for Gamble, and then 2 for Van Noy, Bouye, Butler, 1 for Landry, Poyer, and Kuechly. Those are your numbers for year number 3. Let's see. Are we going to win against the Saints? Keep the dream alive. 35-13, big victory. Now we play the St. Louis Rams. It's going to be Washington versus Dallas on the other side, or on the other part of the divisional side for the NFC. We will find out if we're going to move to the NFC title game. Rams, Panthers were the favorites on paper, just in terms of record and the seed. And we do win 33-15. We take on the #1 seeded Washington football team against Titans and Texans. An AFC South matchup for the AFC Championship. All right. So it won't be the Jets. Jets didn't even make the playoffs this year, and they made the Super Bowl last year. Browns got shut out. That's bad for the Browns fans. And Patriots lost 24-21 to the Texans. But this is the matchup we really care about. 1 versus 2. Washington, Carolina. A trip to the Super Bowl on the line. Let's go get it. We'll see if we can do it. 12-5 versus 13-4. Carolina, Washington. Are we going to get the job done? And we do. We are actually in the Super Bowl for the 2nd straight year with a chance to defend against the, 5th-seeded Texans? They're 10-7. They got no shot, ladies and gentlemen. No shot. This is our bowl to win 2 years in a row. Let's go do it. Here we are in the Super Bowl for the 2nd straight year. It's taken us 3 seasons to rebuild this Panthers team into a championship juggernaut. And here we are, 21-7. 3rd quarter, the Texans scored another touchdown. Come on, boys. There we go. Oh, my God. We got back-to-back really quickly. I wasn't even paying attention. 35-14. I think this one's ball game, ladies and gentlemen. 35-21. Oh, it got close there at the end, but we hold on for a back-to-back championship. 3 seasons. One of my most successful rebuilds since I started doing these retro ones. We go back-to-back. 2 out of 3. Well, the first year we got knocked out in the first round, but 2 in a row for the Carolina Panthers and Cam Newton. I mean, we got a dynasty. We got a dynasty, and we have young pieces. We have young pieces, we have money. So, I mean, this team could go on forever. As long as you have Cam Newton locked up for a long time, we got Le'Veon Bell, we got Davante Adams. This offense is good to go. This offense is good to go. We got Luke Kuechly and Josh Norman on defense. I mean, we got young pieces all around this team. If we were to go 10 more years, we'd probably win 6 more championships. That's how young this team is. As long as you can keep Cam Newton under contract, you're going to be a championship team every single year. That's just how it goes. That is just how it goes. We'll see if Cam Newton got his 2nd Super Bowl MVP. And then we will end the video. 3 seasons, man. 3 seasons, 2 championships. Not what I expected when I started up this rebuild, but I'll take it, that's for sure. Not going to complain. Thomas Davis is the MVP. He must have had some sort of pick or something, or fumble. Matt Schaub of all people is the MVP of the league. He carried the Texans to the Super Bowl. Andy Reid, Coach of the Year. DeMarco Murray and Trent Cole are the Players of the Year. And then Davante Adams wins Offensive Rookie of the Year, and Khalil Mack gets Defensive Rookie of the Year. But Davante Adams, Offensive Rookie of the Year. You love to see it. Love it. Let's take a look at the lineup here before we wrap up. So we got ourselves a stud in Cam Newton. Offensive line's good to go, except for maybe Matt. You can find a better placement than Mike Pollock, or a better guard. The receivers, you could use a couple extra ones. That would be one thing I would have to focus on. You probably need to get a new tight end to replace Greg Olsen. But this right here, this duo is good to go, except for who knows when Cam Newton's contract comes up. And then on defense, I mean, you got yourself Charles Godfrey. You got yourself some good corners once Chris Gamble retires. You've got to work a little bit on the defensive line, and then the middle linebackers are good to go. So that team's set up to go. That team is set up for a dynasty. But that is going to do it for this rebuild. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, leave it a like, subscribe to the channel, join the Juice Club. Thank you so much for stopping by and watching. I truly appreciate it. If you have any other suggestions for teams you want to see me do in any era that I can, current day, 2012 like this one, 2017, 2015, college football, 1994, whatever you want to see me attempt, leave them down below in the comments, and I will probably try to do them in the future. But that's going to do it for me. Thank you so much for stopping by and watching. I truly appreciate it, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.